Our story begins with a beautiful young woman named Leon. She comes from a poor background, and we first see her decorating a hotel room with great care. She even prepares a surprise cake for her boyfriend John, planning to confess her love and tell him she wants their relationship to become official through an engagement. That's because up until now, their relationship has been a secret. She calls John, but he doesn't answer right away. He's clearly busy with something else. Leon grows upset, desperate for him to pick up. At this point, we're introduced to another character, Ty, a highly skilled plastic surgeon. He's talented, but also a notorious playboy, always chasing after different women. After finishing a surgery, Ty plans to meet his friend John, but he quickly discovers John's family has set him up for a marriage meeting without his consent. Meanwhile, John finally answers Leon and rushes to the hotel, excited to see her. When he arrives, he's stunned by the decorations, the cake, and all the effort she put in. Inside, he immediately realizes she wants to make their relationship official. Shocked and panicking because he never loved her that way and only saw her as a sister, he fakes a sudden stomachache and runs into the bathroom. From there, he secretly video calls Ty, begging him to get him out of this mess without hurting Leon's feelings. Ty complains, reminding John that he himself is being forced into an arranged marriage, but eventually agrees when John promises him 3 years of free rent and extra favors. So Ty comes up with a plan. He'll act rudely toward Leon to push her away. He enters the room uninvited, ruins the atmosphere, insults her looks, and deliberately hurts her feelings. But Leon isn't the type to stay quiet. She fiercely defends herself, humiliates him, and even splashes water in his face before storming out. John, however, scolds her instead of supporting her. He says, "How could you treat my friend that way? I need to go fix this." Leon, heartbroken, asks, "So you'd leave me for your friend?" John replies, "Of course. Don't be stupid." Left behind, Leon begins to doubt herself. She convinces herself that she overreacted, that it was her fault. Feeling guilty, she calls John repeatedly to apologize, but he ignores her and eventually turns off his phone because he's at Ty's restaurant, plotting with him on how to make Leon dislike John once and for all. But, dear viewer, Leon is determined to make things right. Embarrassed yet desperate, she decides to go to the restaurant in person. The moment John sees her, he panics and tries to hide like a fool. One of the waiters overhears everything and laughs at John's ridiculous behavior. Meanwhile, Leon continues searching for John and, by coincidence, runs into Ty. She asks him where John is, but Ty keeps dodging her questions. Ty nervously insists he doesn't know where John is. His voice shakes. His eyes give him away. It's obvious he's lying. But, dear viewer, just then his aunt calls, saving him from Leon's endless questions. On the phone, she scolds him, saying she already knows what he did to the last girl his mother tried to arrange for him, how he rejected her cruelly and broke her heart. She then tells him she's on her way to the restaurant right now because she and his mother have set up yet another marriage meeting for him. And this time, he must marry the girl. Horrified, Ty scrambles to escape. He bolts from the restaurant, rushes to his car, and speeds off. But Leon refuses to let him go. She jumps into the car with him, pestering him nonstop about John's whereabouts. Losing his patience, Ty blurts out harshly that John is done with her, that she should just leave him alone. Still clinging to hope, she asks, "So, is he just sick? Or maybe stressed from work?" She refuses to believe John would abandon her. "It's impossible. He'd never walk away from me. Not someone with my pride," she insists. Finally, Ty snaps. "Listen, girl, you're pathetic. You have no dignity at all. He doesn't want you. In plain words, he was just playing with you." The truth cuts deep. Heartbroken, Leon sits silently as the car slows. When Ty pulls over and forces her to get out, her pain boils over. Just then, a waiter from the restaurant arrives, carrying juice for Ty. In her fury, Leon grabs the cup and throws it straight in Ty's face. Without another word, she storms off. But, dear viewer, fate steps in again. At that exact moment, Ty's mother and aunt arrive by car. When they see Leon storming away, they assume she must be Ty's girlfriend. They chase after her, get out of the car, and try to calm her down. Then, his mother warmly invites her over for tea, insisting they talk things through at their house. The next day, Leon shows up at John's house, expecting to meet his family properly. But instead, she's greeted by a completely different woman who claims to be John's real mother. Shocked, Leon explains that his mother had invited her personally, but this woman calls her crazy, saying no such thing ever happened, and accuses Leon of being the one trying to trap her son. The cruel truth surfaces. John has lied again, tricking everyone, including Leon. Furious, the real mother calls her son a worthless disgrace who doesn't deserve anything good in life. She even slaps Leon across the face. This time, Leon's pride won't let her stay silent. She storms off to John's restaurant and publicly humiliates him in front of everyone, calling him a child, irresponsible, unworthy of love. She smashes things around the restaurant, her rage unstoppable. At one point, she even lifts a glass bottle, ready to strike him, until Ty steps in, stopping her. Meanwhile, John hides like a coward in the bathroom, secretly calling the police to rescue him. Leon pounds on the door, furious, while Ty desperately tries to calm her down. In the chaos, she accidentally injures Ty, leaving a mark on him. But through her anger, one thing becomes clear. Her love for John is real. She didn't care about his wealth or status. She fell for him. For a moment, even Ty feels a pang of sympathy for her. But of course, John's mother files a police report against Leon for the chaos she caused at their restaurant, fearing she might hurt her son again. Poor Leon ends up in jail, while Ty struggles with guilt for not stepping forward to testify against his so-called friend John. Later, we see Ty at home taking a shower when he senses someone in the house. Startled, he soon learns that his mother has put their home up for rent. When he confronts her, she reminds him that the house is in her name. She can do whatever she wants. Then she lays down her condition. She won't rent it out and will let him live there only if he brings her the girl she saw with him in the car, the same girl who threw juice in his face, and marries her. She tells him this is the last time she will interfere in his life. Meanwhile, remembering Leon's trial date, Ty rushes to court to support her. Standing before the judge, he declares that John is the real scumbag, while Leon is innocent. He presents all the evidence proving her sincerity, that everything she did was only because she loved John wholeheartedly, though he never appreciated her. The court rules in Leon's favor, ordering John to pay her $500,000 in compensation. Afterward, outside the courthouse, Ty seizes the moment. He begs Leon to help him with his own problem. Pretend to be his girlfriend so his mother won't kick him out and rent the house to someone else. Leon refuses at first. Why should I? Your family drama has nothing to do with me. I don't even know you. But Ty doesn't give up. He follows her everywhere, pleading, until she finally agrees. But only on one condition. Before playing along, he must take her out for dinner because she's starving. After she finishes eating, Leon says she wants to go home, change clothes, and look her best before meeting his family. But Ty stops her. He insists to care more, because his plan is the opposite. He doesn't want his family to like her. In fact, he wants them to hate her and reject her outright. So when they arrive at her life, how poor she is, how her father owns a small fried chicken shop, she's so nervous she even dozes off mid-conversation. When she wakes, she apologizes and leaves quickly, embarrassed. But the big twist, dear viewer? His grandmother adores her. She finds Leon charming and later asks John's father what he thinks. He simply replies that his opinion will, of course, follow his wife's. Meanwhile, Leon, still deeply hurt by John, asks Ty to join forces with her to get revenge. She admits she can't move on with her life because of the pain he caused. Ty agrees, promising to make John regret the day he ever left her. I'll teach him a lesson he'll never forget, he says. He takes her shopping, since after all, he's a skilled plastic surgeon and knows beauty inside out. Since Ty is a plastic surgeon and knows all about turning her into a dazzling beauty, radiant like the moon. When she's finally ready, she heads straight to John's restaurant. The moment she walks in, John's staff greets her. Even John himself is left speechless, hardly recognizing her at first, because his aunt is cunning, closely tied to his mother, and if she discovers they're faking, both their lives will turn upside down. To make it believable, Ty takes Leon out to dinner. Afterward, he drops her at her home. There, we meet Noor, Ty's ex-girlfriend. Meanwhile, John keeps trying to approach Leon, but Ty swoops in, pulling her away and keeping their act alive. Noor, not wanting to attend her own party alone, drags John along with her. At the party, Ty introduces Leon to Noor, explaining that she's the host. Soon after, another man arrives, approaches Leon and tells her, "You're far too beautiful to waste your time on a guy like that. Be careful. He's crazy." Then he walks away to enjoy the party. But, dear viewer, this is no ordinary party. It includes a very unusual auction. Not for antiques or valuables, but for dinner dates. A line of men stands on one side, a line of women on the other, and the bidding begins to decide who eats with whom. And naturally, since Noor is the host, she ensures he ends up paired with her. This, in fact, had been her plan from the start when she organized the auction. Then comes John's turn. Pathetically, not a single woman raises her hand for him. Not even £1 is offered. Finally, Leon lifts her hand, offering a mere 100 pounds, sarcastically adding that he's worth even less. Humiliated, John refuses to dine with her, and as punishment, he's forced to jump into the freezing swimming pool. As he struggles in the icy water, Leon, showing just a hint of compassion, jumps in after him and helps him out. But she makes it clear this is the end. Suddenly, Yu dives in, retrieves the shoe, and gently kneels to slip it back onto her foot, asking her to dine with him instead. But before she can respond, her phone rings. Ty's phone rings at the same moment, too. Both of them freeze at what they hear. It turns out Ty's mother has gone to Leon's mother to formally propose a marriage between the two. Panicked, Ty and Leon rush to stop their families before things spiral out of control. When confronted, Ty insists he just needs more time to think about marriage, certain that Leon feels the same. After their families leave, Leon tries to explain everything to her mother, but her mother is in disbelief. My daughter, dating a handsome, respectful man, and a successful plastic surgeon? He's perfect. Overwhelmed with excitement, she runs straight to Leon's father at the restaurant and blurts out, "Your daughter is in love with a man from a very wealthy family." So the man congratulates her warmly, saying, "1,000 congratulations," and invites him to the wedding. He's overjoyed because now he feels his daughter will live a comfortable life. But Leon, meanwhile, seems to be lost in another world altogether. She sees Yu as a very kind and sweet young man, and indeed, he truly is. But whether he is the perfect choice or not, no one can say for sure. The next day, she goes back to the restaurant to see him, only to find out that he's still just an assistant chef. He tells her to leave for now because he's extremely busy with too many orders to prepare. But after work, they meet again, and he surprises her with a meal he cooked just for her. When she tastes it, she instantly falls in love with his food. And little by little, with him too. They eat together, laugh, and it almost feels like nothing else matters. Later, we see Ty in the bathroom. He tries to come out, but the door won't open. Meanwhile, Leon keeps calling him, but of course he doesn't answer. She starts thinking he's ignoring her, and for several days, this continues. She becomes confused, wondering if he even understands what their relationship means anymore. Frustrated, she goes back home to think in peace. As soon as she enters, thirsty, she grabs a glass of water, but it slips from her hand and falls. That small moment suddenly triggers an old memory from her childhood. Overwhelmed, she breaks down in tears and gets the feeling that something is seriously wrong with Ty. She rushes to his house, and when she tries entering, she guesses his password using his birth date. And by pure coincidence, it works. She gets inside, calling out his name, but no answer. Then she sees the bathroom door locked. Desperate, she grabs a knife to force it open. Finally, she breaks in and finds him collapsed on the floor. For a terrifying moment, she thinks he's dead. But as soon as he senses her presence, he clings to her tightly, trembling in fear and exhaustion. By pure chance, Noor arrives at the house. Leon begs her to start the car so they can rush him to the hospital. Noor agrees, and Leon, showing incredible strength, manages to lift Ty onto her back. Surely she must have carried boulders as a child to manage that. They reach the hospital, and thankfully, Ty's condition improves. Noor, however, leaves him alone with Leon. Soon after, Ty's family arrives at the hospital, worried sick about their son. Leon politely asks to leave, but Ty grabs her hand and insists, "You're not going anywhere." He tells her that she saved his life. If she hadn't come to his house, he could have died in that bathroom. He promises he'll never forget this and will one day repay her. His grandmother is the first to thank Leon, telling her that from this day on, she's like a daughter to her. Even his mother thanks Leon's mother for raising her so well, and also for teaching her daughter how to handle such difficult situations with courage. After that, we see Ty and Leon growing closer and spending more time together with friends. Every day, they go out, eat together, and share meals. Because, dear viewer, their entire relationship has been built around food from the very start. Though Ty still senses that Leon is often nervous, hiding something deep inside, she finally admits that she feels as if someone is watching them. Suddenly, a car pulls up in front of them, headlights blazing. Leon panics, thinking it's Ty's aunt, and runs to hide. But by sheer coincidence, she sees Ty's father cheating on his wife with another woman right there in the street. Shocked and devastated, she begs Yu to take her home immediately. After dropping her off, Yu goes to investigate the car and discovers it's Noor. She offers him money in exchange for getting closer to her. The next morning, Ty's mother decides to test Leon to see if she's truly good wife material. She tells Leon that she's hosting a big dinner party and needs her help preparing the food because she's not as capable as she used to be. In truth, however, she piles all the work on Leon. from cooking to cleaning, to see how much energy she has. But in the end, the family is convinced she's the perfect wife, because even when exhausted, she doesn't complain. And once all the food is ready, they all sit down together at the table. They all gather around the dining table for lunch, but Lion drinks a little too much. That's when she begins saying things that should never have been said in front of Tai, like pointing out that his father is not a good man. She says his wife is kind, a good homemaker, and beautiful too. Yet despite that, he keeps looking outside the marriage. That, she says, is called a weakness. Later, Ty's mother asks to speak with Leon alone. Lion tells her directly, "You need to talk to your husband about this." But his mother replies, "Do you think I'm stupid, my dear? I know everything happening around me, but surely he has his reasons, and I could never bring up something like that with him." Leon can't believe what she's hearing. She answers sharply, "If you really know what's going on around you and you're still staying silent, then you truly are foolish, Auntie. I'm sorry, but that's the truth." Enraged, Ty's mother slaps her across the face. From a distance, Ty witnesses the entire scene. Leon bursts into tears, not because of the slap itself, but because of the sadness she feels for his mother. She walks out of the room only to find the rest of the family gossiping about her cruelly. She turns to Ty and says bitterly, "You're the reason for all of this. I could have never been here in the first place if it weren't for you, Ty." Then she strikes him in anger, and everyone rushes to separate them. She storms out, but Ty runs after her, trying desperately to stop her from leaving. She tells him, "I was humiliated badly. There's no way I can stay here any longer. Not for you, not for anyone." Furious, Ty storms back inside and yells at his entire family, "I'm not marrying anyone but her. There are many things none of you know, and you don't need to know them." Meanwhile, Leon and her friends head to John's restaurant, hoping to see him, but the place is closed. Shortly after, Yu arrives alone. He smiles and says, "Come on, let's go in." He opens the restaurant especially for her and prepares a luxurious 5-star dinner. It's clear now that he has begun to fall for her. As they eat together, Lian, still emotional and not in full control, starts pouring her heart out, telling him everything that happened. Eventually, after crying so much, she grows tired, calms down, and falls asleep right there at the table. Yu gently decides to stay with her inside the restaurant, sleeping nearby instead of locking her in alone. But bad luck strikes. Ty's mother shows up at the restaurant to meet John's mother. Yu quickly hides, but when she enters, she's shocked to find Lion sleeping inside. Suspicious and upset, she causes a scene, until Ty and John arrive just in time to smooth things over. Later, Ty takes Leon out and surprises her with a new phone to replace the one she had ruined in the water, which is why she couldn't contact him. He tells her, "It's just a gift because you've stood by me, not for any other reason." From then on, Ty begins making memories with her so that everyone will believe their relationship is real. But what started as just a game soon becomes something far more serious. They both enjoy being together so much that they begin to fall for each other. Genuinely this time. Meanwhile, Yu grows increasingly jealous when he sees their pictures together. He was scrolling through Instagram, burning with jealousy. Then we see Ty's mother heading to the store to apologize to Leon for slapping her. She tells her that the issue they spoke about is huge, not something new, and she can't explain it, especially since Leon wouldn't understand anyway. She insists she doesn't want anyone interfering, but Leon doesn't stay silent. She tells her that she's just weak, and that's why she avoids talking about it. This makes Ty's mother furious again. She even wants to hit her. But suddenly, they spot the woman whose husband was cheating with her shopping at the same mall. Immediately, Ty's mother runs and hides like a little child. Leon is completely shocked. It all feels suspicious. She even tells her it should be the other way around, since it's your husband who's cheating on you with her, not the opposite. But Ty's mother ignores her, walks away, and leaves her confused. Right after, Noor texts Ty, saying she's sitting with someone very dear to him. He calls to ask who she's with, and she replies, "I'm with your mother. Now I know everything about your plan. If she finds out you've been lying to her, that you don't love that girl and it was all just an act, she'll be devastated." Ty snaps back, "I don't take threats. You can't do anything, and for God's sake, don't say a word to my mother." Later, Ty meets with Leon and tells her that Noor knows their entire plan, but she promised she wouldn't tell anyone. That's her word. Honestly, Leon finds that surprisingly trustworthy. Then Noor goes to Ty's office. When he asks what she wants, she bluntly says she wants to marry him because he has good genes. She doesn't care about love or feelings, just genetics. The next day, the group goes out, and we see Ty's aunt spying on Leon. She calls Ty, claiming that his girlfriend is with someone who works at John's restaurant. Ty realizes she means Yu and quickly finds their location. At that moment, Yu is sharing his dreams of opening a chain of restaurants across the country and later expanding abroad. Leon holds his hand, encourages him, and promises to stand by him until he achieves it. Someone is secretly filming them. Ty catches up, but he can't tell who it is. He thinks it's his aunt, but it turns out to be a strange girl working for Noor. She wants the photos to use against him, to blackmail him even harder. Ty demands she stay away, saying, "Enough. What happened 3 years ago was already too much." And we learn what happened. 3 years ago, he deeply loved that girl and thought she felt the same. But the truth was, she only wanted him for his good genes, his money, his house. And because she ran a hospital and wanted a wealthy partner to fund it. Just then, Leon steps in and boldly declares, "Ty is my boyfriend. We're going to get married and no one can ever come between us." That night, Ty can't stop replaying her words in his head. He admits he's starting to feel something real for her. The game has gotten way out of hand, Yasin. The next day, Leon goes to Ty's house to spend time with him, but she brings Yu along as a guest. Ty explodes. "Are you out of your minds? You think I'll let this guy sit in my house?" He throws them both out because she wanted him to meet Yu there. At that very moment, Ty gets a call from Noor, saying she's coming over with his mother right away. He quickly hides Yu before they arrive, then rushes outside to greet his mother and aunt, Leon by his side, just to show them that they're now living under the same roof and closer than ever. And also, to prove to his aunt that he isn't with anyone else. What a man you are, Ty. A pride to your family and an honor to your friends. Once they leave, everyone goes back inside the house. Slowly, Ty starts to accept the idea of Yu living with them, but only for 2 reasons. First, Yu is a chef who cooks breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day. Second, the 3 of them have become like close friends, living together peacefully without a single fight. But one day, Ty's mother suddenly shows up at the house. Yu quickly runs into a room to hide. When she discovers they're actually living together, surprisingly, she doesn't get upset at all. Instead, she keeps going through all the rooms as if she's searching for something, though even she doesn't know exactly what she's looking for. She tells them to start preparing for the wedding and insists on helping choose the dress. Then one day, while Leon is out shopping with her future mother-in-law, they unexpectedly run into the woman who had been her husband's mistress. Bad luck strikes Ty's mother, because the woman immediately walks over to her and starts talking. She sarcastically says it's her first time seeing people like her shopping in such classy places. "Where are the days when you used to buy from the public market?" she mocks. The entire time, Ty's mother stays silent, too scared to reply. But when the woman starts speaking about Leon, saying, "Even your son's wife is poor. One day he'll leave her for someone else, because she'll never be enough for him," Leon finally snaps. She explodes, saying, "Enough! You're an ill-mannered woman with no upbringing. I've been quiet since morning, but now I've had enough. His mother is a great woman who raised her son in the best way. The real shame is on women like you, man-stealers who chase men for their money." The fight escalates, and they start pulling each other's hair. At that moment, Ty's mother herself joins in. Of course, after such chaos, she gets fired from her job. Later, both women sit outside on the sidewalk, exhausted. Suddenly, Ty's mother bursts out laughing. She admits she finally let go of her fear and thanks Leon for what she did, saying, "You know, Leon, I never thought I could ever stand you. But now, maybe I can even start to like you a little." That very same day, Ty makes a decision. He's finally going to confess his love to Leon, because now it's real. It's no longer just a game. He starts watching countless romantic dramas to learn how to be more romantic. He decorates his apartment with balloons and lights, preparing for the big confession. But things don't go smoothly. Nothing perfect ever lasts. Because at the same time, Noor sits down with his mother and tells her everything from A to Z. Then she storms over to Ty's apartment and says, "All of this, you fool. I already told your mother everything, and nothing is going to come out of it." After that, Yubi goes to meet Leon on the road to confess his love to her. But she tells him that she loves Ty, and she doesn't want to keep playing with his feelings any longer. Yet the moment he spots Ty's mother, he runs to hug her so that she'll think he and Leon are in a relationship, only making things worse. Meanwhile, Leon's mother comes to Ty's house with wedding gifts, since the marriage was supposed to happen soon. But Ty's mother treats her rudely and tells her to leave immediately. At that moment, Leon arrives and sees her mother being humiliated, so she takes her and leaves. Still, Leon's mother doesn't remain silent. She demands to know why she's being treated this way. Ty's mother accuses Leon of being a cheater, betraying her son, and says she would never be proud to be related to people like that. Leon's mother is deeply hurt by the insults, and Leon falls to her knees, begging them to believe that everything is a misunderstanding, but her mother takes her away anyway. Ty sees them leaving and tries to stop them, but both insist on going. He then goes back inside and demands an explanation. His mother tells him that Leon betrayed him, that she and Yubi had been fooling him all along, and that there's no need to pretend anymore. Ty insists that he wasn't pretending, that he truly loves Leon. He admits he knew she was betraying him, but says he never interfered in her choices, just as he never wanted anyone interfering in his own life. He never asked for that kind of care or protection from anyone. Leon's mother, meanwhile, tries to put the incident behind her and live a normal life with her daughter. Ty keeps looking for ways to reach Leon, and eventually he finds her. But when they meet, she tells him he must leave her life for good because his mother hurt hers so badly, insulting her dignity in a way she can never forgive. Later, Yubi asks Leon to partner with him in his restaurant chain, saying she's the most suitable person for the role. But for him, just having her by his side is enough. Still, she tells him they are only friends and refuses to be his business partner. Then we see a journalist visit Dr. Ty after a botched surgery. She begs him to fix it, but he speaks harshly, saying her face is already ruined and the operation would only make it worse. Honestly, he was very cruel with her. He could have refused more politely. The girl doesn't respond but vows to make his life hell and threatens to shut down his clinic soon. Later, Yubi reads in the news that Ty may lose his job and his clinic might be shut down. He suggests that he and Leon try to help him, but from behind the scenes. At their restaurant, the journalist is invited to dine with Noor, who warns her to stay away from Dr. Ty because he belongs to her. But the rude journalist throws hot tea in Noor's face. Leon runs after her until she gets into her car, crying and hiding her face because the failed surgery is so visible. Leon comforts her and takes her to her restaurant, where they eat and drink together. At that very moment, Ty's mother comes to apologize to Leon. But when she sees the journalist sitting with her, she misunderstands, thinking that Leon is the reason her son's life is falling apart. She lashes out at her and storms off without listening. Leon runs after her to explain, but Ty's mother cuts her off, saying she always knew Leon was just after their money. This crushes Leon's dignity, because it's not the first time someone in that family has insulted her for being poor. So she goes to Yubi and accepts his offer to be his partner, beginning her own independent business journey. Meanwhile, Ty's mother goes to her son and demands that he cut Leon out of his life forever, because she's the cause of all his troubles. When Ty hears his mother's version of events, he is convinced that that girl is too naive to ever do something like that. So Ty goes to meet her, asking her to stay away from trouble. He then confesses his love for her, telling her he could never let her get dragged into problems because he can't bear to see her upset. He promises that he'll try to fix the situation at home and then marry her. Meanwhile, Ty's father asks his son to sit with him for an important matter, though Ty later wishes he hadn't. His father gives him the worst advice possible, that he should marry one woman for convenience and keep another as his mistress. In other words, he suggests Ty should marry Noor for status and family benefit, while secretly continuing with Leon on the side. But Ty isn't his father. He's a doctor, a man of principle. He tells his father straight out that this is trash behavior, the way of cowards, and he wants nothing to do with it. Later, Ty attends the grand opening of Leon's new restaurant. He's genuinely happy for her success, but at the same time jealous because Yubi will be working closely with her. Still, this doesn't weaken their bond, especially since they're already living together under one roof. Meanwhile, Ty's mother finally decides to divorce his cheating father. The man begs her to stay, but she refuses, moves into her own home and begins a new life with Ty's grandmother and aunt. They become her support system, while Ty's father is left behind. Not only that, Ty's mother even goes to the hospital to meet Leon's mother, apologizing for her past rudeness and asking for forgiveness. She tells her that she's divorced her husband and promises she'll never interfere in Ty's life again. Then she officially asks for Leon's hand for her son. Leon's mother forgives her, accepts, and gives her blessing. Soon after, Ty proposes to Leon, but he doesn't wear anything fancy that day, nor does he bring a wedding ring. When she asks him where his suit and ring are, he laughs and says, "I gave you a flower once, isn't that enough? What more do you need?" She playfully scolds him, calling him stingy and cheap, but she's only teasing, because none of that matters to her. The only thing that does is that they'll finally marry and live together under one roof. Time passes, and the big wedding day arrives. Ty and Leon hold a huge celebration, but with their usual bad luck, the weather is awful, and a storm hits right in the middle of it. Guests start leaving one by one, yet Ty and Leon just laugh together, unfazed. Ty tells her, "Even our wedding is cursed, just like us." But they put on their rings, seal their marriage, and commit to each other forever. The story ends with them living happily together, blessed with both sons and daughters. And that, dear viewers, is how the series finally comes to an end.